What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Wednesday, November 6th, but it's basically a Tuesday because we've got NXT today. And I want to warn you in advance, I'm always stoked to break things down on a Wednesday, but you need to get used to this crew you're seeing because we're going to be on the next 2 days consecutively. And then not only that, this afternoon, we've got Shoddy, me, and Drizzy. So out of the gates, it's a Wednesday, but we've got the Tuesday Night Delight out in the DMV. What is going on this fine Wednesday? Shoddy, how are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm excited, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Yesterday it was an off day for me. Had to take care of some house stuff. But I'm back today, and I'm not only doing one show. I'm not only doing the two shows we talk about. I'm doing a third show. With a gentleman who's also on our show that he's gonna host. And
three shows.
It's cool. It hasn't even aired yet. It hasn't even been recorded yet. But I just want you to know it's gonna be one of them ones because I'm on my BS right now.
Speaking of, we've also got in the building host of Take It to the Table for his return to RC Wednesdays. We've got the RC crew in the building as well, Shoddy.
Yes. When all else fails, call in the RCs and we will come knocking. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here. Obviously, with y'all. And as Shad said, the new episode is coming out. Well, 2 episodes is going to come out. The first one is going to be with Anthony, David Sheldon, and Soul as well. So that's coming out tomorrow. And then the next episode we're going to be filming with Shad and a fellow Wrestling Republic team member. And that's going to be a special episode because the table has been summoned. So be sure to check it out in due course. But that's enough of that. Let's get straight to it, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's do. We got some comments really quickly too. DC Warlord with it goes full circle. Yes, it does. Chaos hosting a table without me. I think you broke Soul's little heart.
I'll mend it. Don't worry. We're talking about AEW in the next episode. So don't worry.
It's like the Grinch though. His heart grew 5.
Bro, so you should be happy it's Wednesday and you get to be one of the 2 people that are watching Dynamite because NXT's taking over tonight, baby. Let's go.
Shots fired early in the show. Did not expect that one.
But I'll watch that. I'll watch AEW tomorrow though. Don't worry.
All right, and then AEW trying to make their version of WWE Evolution. Dang, I should have saved that for when we get to that segment. That's later.
We'll get to it.
Okay, we will. Let's talk about our thoughts on the Wyatt 6, and that is spelled like illness and not the number. I will say that. But I don't have a ton of them. And here's the thing. Of the thoughts I do, outside of the debut, they're not the greatest. Which I hate trashing something that's such like a nostalgic storyline. So I'm not going to trash it because I do want to see what comes of this and what happens. But it is tough to have a group this sadistic. Not sure when they're going to show up. No definitive story being told. And not only that, we're still sitting with this layer of nostalgia because we know what happened with Bray Wyatt last year. We know, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt passed away. It was tragic. You were on the show with me, Shoddy, when we announced it on air. It was brutal. Yeah, sure. Sincerely, terrible. It's hard to separate that from this. The name is on it. And I don't know if that's part of the, why I can't quite figure out what the direction is. But I'm in a position where who's the main event star coming out of this? Bo Dallas is more than capable, but it doesn't feel like that right this second.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. And so I'm unsure of where to go with all of this. I'm going to start with you, Shoddy. Your thoughts on the Wyatt 6 and just the run thus far, and then I'm going to go to you, Chaos.
Okay. I hope I don't ruffle feathers with this take that I'm about to give. I blame expectations from wrestling fans on how the Wyatt 6 is perceived and how it's delivered. And I'll tell you why. I think the expectations was to be of what we saw with Bray Wyatt, and it kind of being an extension or some, void of Bray Wyatt. The issue is this. It isn't Bray Wyatt. It is an idea of him. And obviously you have his blood part of it. But none of these talents are him. They're not his level of superstar. They don't have the exact creative process as him. So I think that's where we kind of feel like it is not hitting as much, just because I feel like a lot of fans' expectations were a lot higher because we miss Bray Wyatt so much and we're trying to fill that void when we should appreciate it for what it is. These guys and this, guys and girls in the faction, they deliver something different. So we should kind of scale back expectations in a sense and appreciate for what it is. Now, when we talk about booking for that same, the same presentation, the same hype, everything to it, we haven't delivered on a storyline that has stuck with me. And you're only as good as your dance partner at the end of the day. And I feel like they haven't given us, a proper feud that has made us fully invested. I will say I was excited with the Chad Gable and the American Made stuff, but who is it really better? Did they gain anything from beating them? They're kind of in the same boat. And honestly, I feel like American Made is kind of took a step back since that feud. So it didn't help them. And now they're going against the Miz, where I'm here to give it a chance. I think Miz is criminally underappreciated by fans. I think people have a notion to hate on him, but I think that he's, what we just saw this past Monday delivered something that's very interesting. But even with that, Miz isn't something that's a commodity that has people as super invested. So I'm waiting to see them kind of take a little bit more of a flight in elevation. So I won't say it's been bad, but I won't say it's been amazing. It's kind of just been in the middle for me. And I think we gotta, at some point, maybe after the Miz and Final Testament feud, get them something that's gonna kind of boost them. Or like you said, we gotta kind of, zoom in and figure out who the star of the group is, who's the person that's going to be in the main event scene, or if they're a tag team, let's get them in tag team action. At this point, it's kind of just like they pop out, they kidnap people, they do all this spooky stuff, but they don't do a lot in matches wise. They set matches for them in a way, but like there isn't a big direction as them as wrestlers. And I think the other person is, I think Nikki Cross needs to be implemented more into it, because I think she has a lot of star power with playing that like Sister Abigail-esque type of character.
Right.
But we haven't, and we always complain about the women's division. I mean, that's a viable threat.
Yeah.
Like a demon girl, like who really messing with her? So
and that's where, to your point, just a little bit more. A little bit more direction. Because I mean, there's multiple combinations of the Wyatt Six that can be immediately injected into the tag division. And the scene around those, I don't think they need to be carrying titles. But whether they're targeting tag teams and we have a tag team match not for a title is fine, right? But target different. It does seem like it's just been rinse and repeat in some way.
They could go for the tag titles, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I would not hate that, honestly. I mean, yeah, now that I'm
but I don't disagree with what you're saying though, because I feel like I think WWE is so cautious on booking them because Bray Wyatt's initial Fiend booking was really not problematic, but it was kind of an outlier for who he was going against, because you can't beat him. And it kind of like we still got that taste from like past feuds, like even from like the Seth Hell in the Cell match and stuff.
Exactly. And Chaos, I've obviously got to ask you the same question when it comes to the Wyatt Six, right? We've had some discussion here about it, but what would you add when it comes to this? Is there something we can do to really figure out who the main eventer is? And also, do you like the idea of the tag title run? I guess would be my question to you.
It's quite a very the solution. I don't feel like the solution would just take a few minutes on the daily. I think we would have to definitely go dissect it a bit more. I was going to say pretty much almost exactly what Shad said right at the last minute, so he kind of took my take. But basically, in terms of like WWE are just playing it safe because obviously we've been burned a couple of times before, obviously with the Fiend situation, and obviously with Bray Wyatt, and anytime titles become involved in those times, it really muddies the waters. And obviously I understand it was in the old regime, and it may have been a different outcome if it was under the current regime back then. But it is what it is, and I think they just don't want to burn everyone out with this because at the end of the day they are a supernatural group, and it's a very fine line to ride it, because obviously they try to do it with the original incarnation of the Judgment Day, and everyone was not feeling it when there was all spooky lights and teleportations and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously they regrouped, and now they are the Judgment Day that they are today. So it's a fine line. You don't want to make it too hokey. Me personally, I don't really want to see them with the titles because they're not about that. They don't need to be champions with this. They are here to create terror and create fear through all their past enemies. So it's a bit tricky. So
Yeah.
like I was just to finish off, like obviously the American made thing, I agree. It kind of stilted the American made thing because there was no real reason for them to attack them that way. The stuff with the Miz, there's past history. It makes sense. So like now they can actually have more they have more use right now. But I'd say keep them as an attraction, and then obviously see where it goes from there, I'd say.
Absolutely. And I think you made a lot of really good points there. And I'm with you about the title thing. I think that's why I got sketched out when I kind of brought it up in the first place about the tag titles. Like I'm torn on that. It makes a lot of sense for getting them more involved in the product.
Yeah.
Right. So we see them more often, but I don't know if it's actually beneficial.
Realistically, they shouldn't care about any titles. They should supposed to just be terrorizing people. That's what they should be doing.
I did crack up though, Chaos, at you basically being like, you can take my take, but you cannot take my table.
Table, especially if it's blue. Do not take blue.
Take my take, but you cannot have the table.
So here's one thing though, because I do agree a lot with what Chaos said. Do you feel like they should do a better job explaining like why they're going for these people? Because I feel like there's a commonality with like people that have betrayed a partner and stuff, but I feel like it hasn't been explained. Obviously, they got like hidden riddles upon riddles that I don't QR codes, Ouija boards, all of that stuff that I don't know.
This is really interesting to me. I think one of the brilliant things about the Fiend gimmick, which obviously Bray Wyatt being linked to this group, the Fiend gimmick, if over time it had been played out long enough, it changed every single person he faced. If they were something, they were not that afterwards. And I think there was a brilliance in that. I think that's when the Fiend was at its best before we had, piles of chairs and sledgehammers inside of a red cage with red lights, and things like that. When it was at its finest, it changed people. It changed John Cena. I mean, the idea of that Firefly Funhouse match, it's very existential and difficult to follow at times. But the idea of John Cena turning to the dark side in an NWO shirt was a figment of his imagination. It was a nightmare for John Cena, right?
Yeah.
He's now turned on everything he represents. He's wearing an NWO shirt. That's why it's one of the most iconic moments. And I think
such a brilliant match. If you
so layered,
beautiful layers,
genius. If there's a way to tap into something like that, everybody that the Wyatt 6 crosses changes permanently, not permanently, but in wrestling context, permanently, storyline context, permanently, it changes them, right? Finn Balor became a bad guy. That's the first one, right? Immediately after, it changed every single person that
Seth
crossed
as well.
over. With the irony too is, I think it happened on accident. Randy Orton became a good guy. Rated RKO.
That's
That
a good
one was
point.
an accident, and it count it.
That's a good point.
Count the basket. I'm just
LA
saying.
Knight.
LA Knight. Absolutely. It is fascinating to me how, like, to the T, that thing completely worked out. And then DC Warlord with Brian became a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a change. He does have a factor there, yeah.
And I think that is the route you go with the Wyatt Six. They change anytime you need to make a change.
It's almost like this is like comic book stuff, like the symbiote.
Yeah.
With Spider-Man. As soon as someone gets affected by it, it changes them.
Yeah.
For bad, mainly bad, but you know what I mean. That's how I kind of see. That's how I
saw
the film.
That's a great analogy, actually.
That is a great one. No, to me, that's the route you go. And I think it would provide a lot of entertainment, continuity, and I think it's great for everybody involved in the Wyatt Six because I love having them on screen. And I love the idea that we're playing out some iteration of this genius idea that we had back in the day, that we were probably going to see in some way if Bray was still, obviously rest in peace, as I've said before, but I like the idea that it's still here. I just don't want it to get lost in the shuffle because it's so tied to nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a way that we can sort of work back around that. That's my greatest fear when it comes to this storyline. But let's move on to our second topic of the afternoon, one that was asked about earlier. And Shad, I'm going to almost go directly to you. We had Evolution, obviously, in WWE.
Yeah.
How about the idea of an all-women's pay-per-view in AEW, and how would you go about this?
Yeah, let me just give a little backstory on the question. Obviously, our CEO Mercedes Moné pitched the idea in an interview, saying that she thinks that the AEW women's division is stacked enough where they're even able to, collectively create an all-women's AEW pay-per-view. And so my answer on that is, in hindsight, I would probably say it's a bit of a far-fetched idea. Just because to get there, we have to kind of scale back and we have to get steps where there's more prominent women's storylines happening on AEW television or whatnot, right? So that's kind of like where I'm just like, at this current iteration and moment, I don't know if they can have that just off of how everyone is booked, what's being booked, so on and so forth. But if we're talking about a grand scheme hypothetical situation, Clark, I think anything is possible. And I do think AEW has the amount of talent to create an AEW women's pay-per-view. I mean, hell, they have it. If you can scale it even back a little bit where it doesn't have to be like a 10, 11 match card. But if we're talking about a 5, 6 match card, you got a lot of women on the roster that you can, create an avenue and create a pay-per-view. And that's the one thing I believe that is the beauty of signing somebody like Mercedes Moné, is because she's a history maker in her own right? She's one of the horsewomen. She's had Mania main events before. She's had NXT main events. She's created so many monumental stuff. And she's also, seen so many monumental stuff happen, like we're talking about with the WWE Evolution pay-per-view and whatnot. I think with a person like her wanting to be like the flag bearer, I think you have a stronger possibility of it happening. Also, just off the fact that she's one of the biggest superstars in the division. And you got people that can sell you a show. You got her, you got a Britt Baker, you got a Willow Nightingale, you got a Chris Statlander. Like, the talent, Mariah May, Toni Storm, is definitely there. It's just how we get there, right? And that's kind of where I would be curious to see. And honestly, in a way, it could be a blessing in disguise, because it gives you when you're building for a pay-per-view, you have no excuse to have more implementation of women's matches throughout your weekly television show. So I'm not opposed to the idea, but do I think it's going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen.
Sean, I'll go full Field of Dreams, though, because I love what you just said there. And that's, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. You presented enough information. The roster is good enough. There's no doubt about it. We're all wrestling fans here. If you build it, people will show up and watch. And that's the part of the equation that's difficult. But it is possible. And I'm in agreement 100%.
To
the
me,
roster is deep enough.
To me, and it's the same thing for WWE too, because I think we even talked about it one time, like on show on NXT off the air. Like if you add the element to like what NXT does, like they kind of give you the blueprint of how stuff is run, and they give you an immense amount of talent to do so.
So this is interesting, and I don't want to shout out a negative comment here, but Dale Sutton, we appreciate the comment always. He said they won't come. So are you telling me that if the pay-per-view isn't built properly with the roster that they currently have, people will not watch it? Because that's all that was said. So that's right. Like if it's built properly, people will watch it. If it's not, they won't. I'm in agreement on that. But if it is built properly with the roster that they currently possess, that's the one for me. And then Anthony Manzano said something about Shad. The issue is Mercedes has been the champion for 6 months and they haven't. I don't know.
That literally has nothing to do with the hypothetical question, dude.
Yeah. And Dale, they need a deep story is kind of what I said. Like,
her title reign is not the focal point of a hypothetical question, nor is it there's also that's the secondary women's title too. They got a whole other like main women's champ. And I mean, like Kobe said, they need to have a main event for a pay-per-view first. They could have done it, honestly. They had opportunities to do it if they wanted to. Like you had like that Toni Storm and Mariah May feud cooking hot for a little while. There's chances there for sure.
Like you had Britt. I mean, if you think about Britt, it wasn't a pay-per-view, but Britt and Rosa, that cage match was main event of a special edition show. Like it's not like it's unprecedented. Chaos, do you have anything to add before we do move on?
No, you pretty much hit it on the nail on the head. Pretty much, it's there's no, if they really want to further separate themselves from WWE and not just try to just quell the naysayers. They have a deep enough roster. I think that could you could do a 6-7 match type of pay-per-view. You don't have to do like some big super card. I think there was a comment that Soul said, if not maybe a pay-per-view, then maybe at least a special every now and again. That will make it more instead of trying to squeeze in a women's match on the pay-per-view, or if you're not able to, or whatever the case may be. There's basically no excuse for it, especially on WWE side. Both companies have a deep roster enough to do that, but yeah, AEW should take that first step and neither do specials or pay-per-view. And the people will come as long as the story is told correctly.
Yeah, if it's built properly, it will work. That's the key to the whole operation. That's the key on either side, men's or women's, when it comes to booking, right? Okay, but speaking of keys, this is key, my friends. You are all here, and we know you're all wrestling fans. So if you need more of it when you're done with this show, you're going to want to head over to Demand Progress Plus. Progress Wrestling, they're our good friends. It's a heck of a product. This is one of the best libraries on the internet to watch. You also have the current live shows as well, the pay-per-views. And here's the best part about it, the kicker. You're going to want to use this code, Watch Progress 1. You're going to get 50% off your first month on the Demand Progress Plus platform. Not just Progress Wrestling, but Defy, TNT, more promotions, some of your all-time favorites, classic matches, classic current matches, classic current events. Check that out. Once again, that code is Watch Progress 1, and that's on Demand Progress Plus. But let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it moving here on the show. Let's talk about not the U.S. right now. Not today, Junior. We're talking about the potential road to a WrestleMania in a different continent, not North America, not even Canada. Doesn't even include Canada. In Europe, I think London is the obvious choice. there are some things between that chaos, but I'm going to go to our resident of a European country, Chaos, to discuss the possibility of Mania headed to your continent.
Boy, I don't know about Mania right now. It seems like they're really like just dangling that carrot and they're just saying, no, we ain't doing it. It's all good. But yeah, this obviously the situation with they're doing a Road to WrestleMania tour across Europe, and it's not just full of house shows. It's actually taped shows for both Raw and SmackDown, not just in the UK. They're branching out. They're going Spain, Germany, Scotland for some weird reason, and everywhere else. It's about damn time. I'm actually glad that we're finally getting. It's been a while since we've had any SmackDown or Raws over in the UK, because they used to do it every time, once or twice a year, once at the beginning and once at the end. And then now they're back on it. But yeah, I'm definitely I'm here for it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go to any of them because literally even the ones in the UK in London, I'm gonna be in the UK. I'm gonna be down London the week after, so I can't just go back and forth. So it's a bit annoying. But yeah, I'm here for it. Will it lead to a Mania? If it does, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. I was really crossing my fingers, maybe in the next year or two. But I feel like it's probably gonna be like 2026-7, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you for picking me up there too, because I botched the question, which is the best part about that. I botched the question and asked it like it wasn't about the Raws and SmackDowns along the way and the tours over there. But either way, I'm glad you answered the question I did ask.
Yeah, it completely threw me off. I tried to reel it back in, but yeah.
It's like, Ben thinks I read what he sends me. I'm kidding. It's like,
I could give a damn what he says.
What do you mean?
It's interesting though. I like that they are really heavy into the international
dates
and whatnot.
No, yeah. One thing I would say though, it did feel very weird. I don't know what it was. It did feel very weird seeing Raw in Saudi Arabia. It just didn't. I don't know. Maybe the atmosphere or the look of it. It just felt like it was originally a house show and then it just put the Raw banner on it. I don't know what it was. It just didn't feel weird. So I don't know how that is going to change. Because if it's a different feel, obviously, when there's a PLE in different countries. But for some reason, it just didn't have that Raw feel to it compared to how you see it on every week. I don't know what it was. It just didn't feel like a normal episode of Raw. So I don't know how that's going to come.
That really felt like an NXT. They were at the NXT arena in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It didn't feel like a Raw arena. It just literally felt like it just. Oh, we got some spare time to do. All right, let's do a Raw episode.
I swear, I thought the same thing watching. I was like, this joint is mad small. Like,
yeah. See, I'm not the only one.
It threw me off. I was gonna say the same thing. I'm like, what's so bizarre about it to me though is I'm like, if you look at the crowd that was there for Crown Jewel itself, like it was on fire. The crowd that was in the building was hot, but I'm like, is there less?
And the lights were always on. It felt like everything was on. Like, it was very bright. I think
that is the weirdest part to me is normally you have theater lighting. So the ring is lit, the crowd is dimly lit.
Yes.
You can barely see them. You can see them enough to see reactions, but you can't see all the way up the rows. Yeah. The lighting was bizarre. It was like the difference between a Clippers game and a Laker game.
Yeah,
like a Laker game, like genuinely.
That's funny.
I'm dead serious. That's what it felt like. It was like back when they both shared crypto staples.
Yeah,
like that's what it felt like. Now, obviously, with the Intuit Arena and the new arena for the Clippers,
for sure,
that analogy doesn't land anymore. That's kind of a dated
Lakers
one.
Recently,
so genuinely, like a Clipper game, they light the whole arena, and then all of a sudden, a Laker game, it's like only the court. All of a sudden, and then the beer taps go from $10 to $14. Other than that.
Oh boy.
Same taps. I went to multiple doubleheaders and it threw me off every single time. So you can see the Clippers in the morning or at noon and then the Lakers in the afternoon, right? And the Clips game, it's $9 for a beer, $7 for a hot dog, and all of that. And then they've got all the lights on. Then it's Laker game time. All the lights shut out, and all of a sudden it's $14 for a beer and 11 for a hot dog. same arena, same hot dog, same taps.
Fair enough. Oh, by the way, sorry everyone, he's gone on a bit of a tangent, but yeah,
my bad. No,
that is funny
good.
though. That's mad.
We are good. Okay, let's move on though to our final topic of the evening, which is our preview for both NXT in the 2300 arena and AEW Dynamite tonight. This is going to be a wild one. I personally, hosting the show right now, have been massively focused on NXT. So we're going to preview NXT out of the gates. And then I'm going to make sure that we preview AEW to finish. So Shadi, I am going to go to you first on NXT because you're our resident NXT guy. And you're wearing a Philly hat.
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles hat.
That's on purpose.
They're at 2300. I'm so psyched for this show. It's so stacked. And I love the idea that all of these ECW legends are going to show up. And I don't even think they've all been announced.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get more and more surprises. And I love that. As an ECW guy, nostalgia wise, this is so up my alley. Are you as hyped as I am?
I'm super stoked for it. Obviously, they've announced quite a few things that are going on the card today. You mentioned nostalgia. We got Francine is making an appearance on today's show. RVD said he's going to make some sort of appearance. I feel like it might be tied to the Javon Evans and Wesley match. Maybe be a special guest referee. Who knows? Dawn Marie is going to be a special guest referee for the greatest match of all time that is being booked by Shawn Michaels, Lola Vice versus Jada Parker. 10-star match already before it even happened. As you add Dawn Marie to the element of it, and then Bubba Ray Dudley and Trick Williams going against Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. So a lot of ECW implements towards it. I would rather see RVD wrestle than Bubba Ray, but we'll see. Maybe he might wrestle. But I'm mostly excited for this monster all-star game match that we have tonight, and it's a 10-woman match. It's Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and Fatal Influence versus Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan, Zarya, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer. That is an insane 5-woman unit that is going against the Bad Girls Club, and that's a lot of talent. And the moment of them last week was probably one of the dopest moments of wrestling last week, just seeing those 5 women stand strong and then just all of them going face to face. So that's something that's going to get the crowd hype. There's going to be a lot of chaos happening on it. So I'm definitely excited for that. You'll get to Dynamite after that, right? So I'll pause on that.
Yeah. Wait on Dynamite. We're still talking NXT.
Because I got the card for that too, if y'all need it.
Chaos getting his shot on NXT. That's great. Actually, I will toss it to you for the card. I have the card as well, but if you want to read it, you nailed it on that one. So might as well. But your thoughts is on NXT, ECW Arena. We've got some interesting comments here too. First, before I do finally go to you, we got ECW. But we've also got my dad was an ECW star from Dale Sutton. Dale, who was your dad? That's so cool. I liked it before because you're commenting and watching the show, and we really appreciate you. But that's amazing. Who was your father? Anthony Manzano commented about this family storyline with Nunzio. I thought the same thing with Giovanni Vinci as a possibility, but I like the idea of it being Nunzio as well. And then DC Warlord with Joey Styles on commentary. Yeah, Joey Styles. Who would that hurt? Nobody in the world. I love Joey Styles. Oh my God. Anyway, Chaos, what are you looking forward to most tonight on NXT?
Well, I don't know if Joey Styles has he squashed the beef with WWE. I swear he.
No. He's not actually on commentary. It's just
okay. I was about to say. I was just like, there would be a nice surprise, but yeah, and I would love to see it, but nah. No, NXT is good. I mean, as a whole for both shows, I'm not gonna go in both of them, but I like the feel that NXT is not trying to they're throwing in every main roster star. You're not seeing Cody Rhodes, you're not seeing Punk, you're not seeing all the champions, and they're not trying to really compete as such. It's a nice stack card on both shows, but it's not like they're trying to outdo the other. It's got its own separateness to it, but so that's why I quite like it. going to the matches, my two matches I'm looking forward to is Lola Vice and Jada Parker. Not for the reasons that you might think, and obviously the 10-man superstar match that is going to be absolutely insane just because of the amount of star power. You know, there's the amount of star power that NXT has alone is incredible, and this just pretty much solidifies it, if you will. That's going to be great. But yeah, definitely Lola Vice and Jada Parker. I never thought I'd see the day I would see Dawn Marie back in WWE. I didn't watch NXT last week, I'm sorry, but when I heard the rounds that she showed up, I was like, wow. That's something I don't think anyone had in their bingo card. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy for this match. Jada Parker, Lola Vice are going to do crazy stuff. And but yeah, and also the 10-woman match, tag match is going to be great. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
No doubt about it. I am too. We've got Dale Sutton's dad was Roadkill.
Oh wow!
Shout out Roadkill tagged with Danny Doring. Miss Congeniality was the man, like childhood memories. That is very cool. And then DC Warlord even added, he's like, my uncle trained Brian Pillman. Humble brag, but respect. I love that one.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
that is amazing. And then one time only, we need Joey Styles on commentary. I couldn't agree more. Joey Styles tickles me every nostalgic heartstring you can pull on.
Roadkill is the big dude, right? The big looking dude.
Traditional Amish dress with the beard and everything. One of I believe he's from the Philly area too. Dale, if you're still watching, are you going to the show? But let's do preview Dynamite. I will read the comment when that comes in. But preview Dynamite. You said you had the card pulled up, Shotty. Break it down.
Yes, I do. I mean, the main thing that we have, I had to get my phone at lock. The main thing that we have is the tag team match with Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Claudio and Pac. Adam Cole versus Malachi Black. We got the Learning Tree versus the Conglomeration. I don't know if y'all are excited for that. I didn't hear a lot of woos on that. Penelope Ford making her return versus Jamie Hayter. We also got a couple talking segments. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley speaks for the first time. And then we also got Takeshita and Fletcher versus Ricochet in a mystery partner. So I guess we could kind of even ask that. Who y'all think the mystery partner is going to be?
Prince Puma.
Man.
What? I'm sure they could work it out. I'm sure they could do it somehow.
Oh my god, that is funny.
Can you give an actual pic so I can wipe my face off really quick?
But yeah, the floor is yours, Shad. I don't know. I'm sticking with
I don't know either, man.
Hot like a snot rocket out.
Maybe Osprey. Maybe Osprey.
Nah.
Kyle Fletcher.
No, he's going against. Who's he? Who's like? I feel like they're beefing with. Who else they beefing with? It could be some random, like maybe a new. I don't think it's gonna be a new signing.
Someone said it was Mark Andrews or something like that.
We've got Will Ospreay, Tommy Billington, or AR Fox. AR Fox would be interesting.
AR Fox is a good one. Yeah, that's it. Mark
Davis.
Davis.
Mark Andrews, a
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Oh yeah, the tight end for the Ravens.
I think it could be Mark Davis. I think that might be it. I think that
would make sense.
Yeah, wasn't it? Did he get attacked by Kyle Fletcher?
Saying Mark Davis.
Yeah.
I
think. Yeah, I mean, Dynamite's got a cool card for the most part. I think Malachi and Cole is probably the match I'm most excited for out of all of them. That's gonna be a really good match. Man,
I was gonna say
I didn't see that match. That was a black and gold match too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Banger of a match.
Did they actually wrestle on black and gold?
Yeah,
for the title.
That's right, for the title. Yeah. I forget that Aleister Black was still in the. It's weird.
That was like right before he got called up, right?
Black, weirdly less associated with the black and gold than I do a bunch of other people that were very entrenched in that product, equally as entrenched. And Kobe with Mr. Corrector here with not for the title. Yeah, let's remember though, it was actually Kobe's fault earlier when we had to blame somebody. That was your fault, Kobe. It always is. We know that. So
I think Black won that match. I think.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I think Black won it.
I will say the Black Mass is better than the What
It
do they call it
was
now?
it was at Extreme Rules in 2020.
So what? There was a crowd though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely
It
a
was
crowd. I remember.
it
Yeah,
was
so it must
nah,
have
it
been
was
before pandemic.
Wait, Extreme
yeah,
Rules wasn't NXT.
No. It was an Extreme Rules match.
Oh,
Extreme Rules
yeah.
match. It was it was right before, like, there was a crowd.
Yeah,
Um it was in Philly.
Is
It
it a
was like
Full Sail? Or was it
nah, it was
Philly?
like right nah, it was right before the it was
the
like before the
pandemic.
pandemic hit.
Oh, look, Souls got us with Takeover
Hey, thank
Pennsylvania.
you.
Yeah, it was a takeover in Philly. Yeah.
They took
Yeah.
over Pennsylvania. Yeah, Kobe's got us too. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Oh,
Real pick
yeah.
me up. Um,
Damn, bro, that joint was it's crazy. Time flies.
Definitely.
It's been almost
it
5
is
years
so
since that
wild to
joint
me
happened.
that that's been 5 years. That's more than that. Kobe,
2018, my bad. You're
look
right.
at Encyclopedia
It was on that was the
over
same
here.
card. That was the same card as Gargano and Andrade, right?
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay, Dale, by the way, because I had not looked it up, I really appreciate you saying that. He said my dad's still alive. He retired in 2012. He was an ECW tag team champion, one time heavyweight champion in Pain and Pro Wrestling. I hadn't
Yeah,
looked it up,
it
but the
was.
way that you typed the initial comment, I'm actually really glad you cleared that up because I was going to look it up after the show to be like, oh man, that's, like, right.
Yeah.
But either way, we do appreciate it. And he said he's heading over to, let me read this comment. We've got a bunch here. He's going to double WLW tonight instead of the
Nice.
NXT show. That'll be fun. Anytime you get to see live
Yeah,
wrestling,
Malachi did
we
win
love it.
that one though.
So Malachi
But yeah.
won that one. Who do you got tonight? Cole or Malachi?
It has to be Cole.
Cole.
Has to be Cole.
I think we've all got Cole.
I'm glad that Malachi is finally getting a bit of shine. I really feel like he's so overdue for a singles run. The guy can still go. He can be a top contender. I don't know why they're not pushing him and just shoving him with House of Black. Not that I have anything against House of Black. They're freaking awesome. But I feel like he can definitely be a worthy opponent for the championship at some point.
House of Black, after Julia Hart got hurt, kind of like it lost its cohesiveness as a group. Where like we've seen Brody King act like a baby face and show respect, and I actually would rather see. I think I would rather see all three guys be single stars instead of a group, because I think they have better shelf life with that.
I'm 1,000% with you. I accidentally jinxed you there. Like it was one of those. Like I mean, I do have ADHD, so it just came out of me. I couldn't help myself.
I will Venmo you $1.50 to get a soda, bro.
We're good. We're good. I'm totally kidding. With that, it does bring us to the end of the show, though. If you haven't already smashed like and subscribe, please do that. If you aren't making plans already to watch the Take It to the Tables that Chaos announced at the beginning of the show, either rewind and figure out when it is, or right this second, listen to Chaos announce them again. When are the releases? When are the tickets coming out? Chaos.
The next
Take It to the Table, your show that you host.
The next one.
When does it come out? You're recording it after this.
No, he's got another one that's dropping soon.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The other one that's dropping. The one you plugged in the beginning of the show. When is it? Can you not hear me? He can't hear
His
me.
audio
no way
dropped.
He can hear me. All right, his audio dropped. Watch Take It to the Table on behalf of me, Clark Taylor, Chaos, and Shad. Everybody at Wrestling Republic. We appreciate you so much. Check out NXT off the air tonight.
He's back.
He's back. Oh,
hey yo!
Oh no, he can add himself. Add yourself.
Hey, plug your stuff in before we head out, bro.
What? Yeah.
What
can
time
you hear me?
Does the show
come out?
we
can
hear
you now.
Oh yeah. The first episode is coming out tomorrow, around 5 p.m. And then the debate episode will be coming out Tuesday.
Perfect. Check those out. If you have no plans tonight, you do now. NXT off the air. Me, Shad, Drizzy, the whole crew will be after it immediately following the show at 2300 Arena. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. We really do appreciate you. It means the world to us. Have an awesome Wednesday, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.